Morning, guys. Let's see what we got going on today. Alrighty, let's hop into. Sorry, just 1 second. Let's hop into it. Last day of the week. We really haven't taken any losses this week, so we're gonna be careful today. Looking at everything, US30. Looks like we broke yesterday's low, and we're starting to push down. This weekly candle is looking pretty bearish. We are coming down into this support area down here. Look at the daily. We've got a nice healthy downtrend of daily candles for the last week now. We put in today's high already. Need to add this down here. So we put in the high on the candle already up here. So now we're just waiting to break this low. Once that candle flips and that low's broken, we're probably going to push down somewhere within here and test within this zone today. So that's what it's looking like on the daily time frame there. Let's drop down to the 4 hour. We're kind of moving a little sideways now, which is definitely expected during yesterday's Asian session and London session. So looking at the 4 hour, we're a little consolidating within this range. If you drop to the hourly, it's a little more clear, just kind of moving sideways here. So we marked a high up here and we marked this low. So once either one of these levels is broken, you really have it's a little more risky for the sell side, but you do have a little bit of traffic, clean traffic down to 32,800-ish level. So if we break this low, we can expect test of 32,800. And similarly with this high up here, this is a lot cleaner. So if this high is broken, you look left, and there's really nothing that's going to stop it from continuing up until somewhere up within here. So if that high is broken, definitely have some influence for buys to kind of take that to the upside. Drop down on the 5 minute, it's really the same. There's nothing really to take within this range. Potentially you could look at possibly taking a break of this high up here and using it as a continuation to the upside to test this high. If we get closer to the time of volume and we're closing up above here or around this area and we break above here at the open, I think there's a good probability that we're going to use that momentum to come push and test this high again. It's already been tested once, so watch for that as we get closer. It looks like we're kind of rejecting down here, starting to push up. So that would be awesome if we can continue to push up a little bit and then maybe just reject here, hang out for a second within here, start a little range on the 1 minute, and then we'll break out of this area once the volume comes in and we make that push to the upside if we do today. NASDAQ. Looking at NASDAQ, weekly candle already made its high. Now it's flipping bearish. We could be rejecting within this area somewhere. So it looks like we might see a continuation to the downside on these pairs today, potentially. Looking at the weekly candles, if this low is broken, then yeah, we're going to push straight down to probably 11,000 area, somewhere within there. Looking at the daily, we've had 2 bearish candles in a row here. So we put in a candle there, or sorry, right there. And then yesterday's candle closed bearish as well. So today's candle, we're making that high. So as long as today's candle respects this high on the previous candle, we're in a bearish downtrend on the kind of micro side of things on the lower time frames. So we put in this high right there. We need to respect that high for the rest of the day now and start breaking down today's current low. Once we break that low, then we can expect a continuation to test yesterday's previous low. And once that low's broken, or if it's broken today, really expecting more kind of candles that look like this but to the downside. So overall looking pretty bearish there as well. On US30, the buys look a lot cleaner. On let's take a look here on the lower time frames. So we got a high there, we got a low there. Go to the hourly. So this is pretty ugly traffic within there. We're gonna mark this high and this low on the hourly right there. Now you can see the zone that we're stuck within here. Drop to the 15-minute. Really nothing to refine there, and the 5-minute. Yeah, I think we're gonna leave these areas for right there for now. And as we get closer, we'll see if there's anything kind of opening up. But SPX looks like we're going to continue down as well. We current leaky candle put in the high and we flipped bearish. So the only thing that's a little concerning is that we are still respecting lows here for each of these previous weeks, and even this current week candle kind of put in that low and is starting to back off a little bit there. Looks like that was yesterday's candle that rejected that area, and that is a support within there as well. Today's candle's kind of flipping bullish a little bit. We already put in a low here, so could see a continuation of the upside if this high on this current daily candle breaks. Let's go ahead and mark that high right there. Drop down a little more. I think that is the high. That's a high, but I'm gonna go ahead and move it to there because that's where the real kind of trend's gonna shift a little bit as far as short-term trend change, because we had this push down here, so we broke structure here, and basically here, but now we're kind of putting in just a little bit of microstructure here. So once this high's broken, we're kind of create this little channel to the upside, where we're probably going to push somewhere within this area in there, and that's where we'll test, and then it'll decide if we're going to come back down and make another leg to the downside, or if we break these highs, then we'll continue to the upside. So I can definitely see this flipping bullish for a little bit, a couple days, and kind of retesting those highs. 15-minute clear. Let's clear all this. Okay. Looking at the 15-minute, we got that high down there. This looks very similar to NASDAQ. Now we're just kind of within this range consolidating. We've tested the high twice now, once here, once here. The low's only been tested once, so we might make that push down and test down here for sure. Let's look at the DXY, kind of give us a little guidance on where we're going today. Weekly candles. We have been pushing very heavily to the bearish side since October, middle of October. So got to be careful there. But it looks like we might be rejecting this area down here. The weekly candle came down, tapped into there. Now we're flipping bullish. So the daily candle, we're kind of within this range in here. We need to break out of there to see bullish momentum flip. So we've been on a heavy downward trend, just making lower lows, lower highs all within here. We need this to start pushing up and breaking structure here. We really even need to start breaking these kind of structures before we're able to confirm that we're flipping to kind of a bullish structure, or a bullish trend. So that's what we look like on the 4 hour. Okay, and now you can see this range that we're in. We're kind of breaking out of, we're gonna mark this high as well. We just broke out of there on the hourly, and we came back and we retested that. So I think we might be seeing a push up for today on the DXY, especially looking at the hourly candles. What we don't want to see is close back inside of here, because if we come back and we close back within this range that we're in on the hour, we're probably going to see a retracement somewhere back within this levels before it makes its decision if it's going to continue up or break these lows and continue to the downside. So we're going to watch this a little closely over the next, hour-ish and hope that we close this up above there. So what up, AB? What did you miss? Expecting the DXY to probably head upwards today. Looking at the indices, there's definitely cleaner moves to the buy side, but I'm expecting probably a dip into this zone. Probably drops on all the indices today, unless we decide to get some kind of retracement, which it's definitely due for a retracement, but who knows. With the DXY going up potentially today, we're looking for sells there. What up, RDK? Good morning, bro. Let's look at Bitcoin real fast. Last day of the weekly candle, and it'll be interesting to see how today closes, because earlier on in the week I talked about how this area is where we potentially might turn around, and there's also, it's really all this whole area up there. There's also that, but the weekly candle looks like we're starting to reject right there a little bit. I'd be interested to see if we close bearish today, potentially below here. So we're kind of within this consolidation range now on the daily time frame. Drop down a little bit long, or a little bit lower, and you can see it even better on the hourly. We are within here, just moving completely sideways for now. So we did have this kind of shift of structure here, broke a lot of structure within this area. This was starting to create a little bit of a channel up here, and we kind of broke out of there. Now we're looking like we're coming back up to retest that, so we might see that drop out of there sometime this weekend. Probably not today, but sometimes this weekend. And yeah, probably expecting it to turn around right here if we do respect this level up within here. If we don't and we push through, then there's also this level here. It could potentially turn around. So probably expecting this to drop over the weekend. Let's hop up to some of our Forex pairs. We've got 19 minutes. Let's check back in here real fast. Actually, okay, so we're making that push up, like I said. So what we need is this push up. We need it to kind of close in here and just kind of chill for a sec before it makes that move up, if it's gonna go up today. Oops. Okay, GJ. Anybody got any pairs they want me to look at today? Let me know. Looking at GJ, super bullish weekly candle. We rejected down here, this area right here, and now we're pushing away to the upside. We're breaking these highs of the previous weekly candle there. Daily candle, you can kind of see this range that we are currently within now. So it looks like we're coming up, and we're going to test this high. Once this high gets broken, there's a lot of movement to the upside that has really no reason to slow down until 166-ish, somewhere within there. So looking like we're heading that way today, potentially. If not today, then we're going up there on Monday, Monday or Tuesday, probably, as long as we break this high. If we come up here and we start rejecting, then we might just, you know, consolidate for another couple weeks within there. But thinking that we're probably going to break out of there soon, especially with the kind of structure we're putting in here, potentially something like that. What do you think of GU and UCHF? Let's jump to GU real fast. Weekly candle is bullish here. We put in our low, we flipped bullish, now we're coming up. We rejected this area up within here, so something to be careful of. This high was not yet broken. Let's go to the daily. Once this high is broken up within here, then we have clean pushes up into 126 area up in there. Looks like the daily candle is making its low right now. So what we need to happen now is we need to respect this low in order for it to go bullish today. So if you're in buys, you're watching this daily candle or the low of this daily candle, and you're hoping that we do not break below there. You can kind of see the little bit of structure we're putting into on the 4 hour right here. We put in a low there, so now we need this low to hold right here so that we can make this push to the upside and break this high. So are you looking at buys, RDK, or what are you looking at there? On GU, we can drop a little bit lower. And yeah, we're in pretty bullish structure right here, kind of making a little bit of a upwards channel up within there. So um, I wouldn't be taking any kind of sells or anything unless we start breaking structure to the downside. See a break of there, probably even a break of there first to the downside. But then you got to be careful because we are still within that channel up in there. So I'm in lower time frames taking scalp sells. Okay, let's look at the. We'll start at the 15-minute right here. Mark these lows there. So this, you need to be careful here because when you look left, there's really, this whole area is consolidation area. So that's where we're coming up inside of. So you really can't expect clean moves inside of here. So the smart move would be to wait until these lows are broken down there at 123, 131, because that's kind of a shift of structure there. So once these lows are broken there, then you've got clean traffic down to somewhere 22,700-ish, somewhere within this region inside of there. Same thing kind of applies on the 5-minute. If we break those lows, you come in here, you look, there's really nothing. I mean, you might be able to get a wick fill right there down to 23,165. It's still super risky play, in my opinion. So be careful with the sells for sure. Looks like we might be coming down to break this low right now, so keep an eye on that. What was the other pair you wanted? USD CHF. Come up in here. Just trying to kind of see what I marked last time when I marked this up. Yeah, we're gonna delete it and start fresh. Yeah. So the last time I looked at this, I talked about us coming back within this weekly range where we just had a lot of consolidation. Looks like we're kind of rejecting this area, so we might be flipping bullish. The weekly candle's still pretty bearish, but it's rejecting hard there, and today's daily candle is bullish. And we broke highs, and we already put in our low, so there's potential for this to keep pushing up somewhere within this area up to 0.93. So definitely probably bullish on this today, especially if we can break structure here. We had this bearish structure that was put in here. Now we started to retrace. I'm sure a lot of people got burned right here on this kind of retracement, trying to fib this move down, take sells somewhere within there. We're breaking those highs up there now, so could see a shift in structure right there. And looking like we're heading to the bull side today. So US30 on a hop back because it's looking like we're pushing back up into there. We need it to kind of reject right here for a second. We've got 5 minutes until the opening candle, so if we could get this candle to kind of reject and close bearish right here so that the next candle can push up, then that would be awesome. We're going to keep an eye on that. We've got about 4.5 minutes until the opening candle. I don't think I looked at GU yet, or sorry, EU. First potential signs of a little bit of bearish pressure here. We rejected this high and starting to flip our candle into a bearish candle on the weekly. Looking at the daily candle though, we already put in our low and our high. This low is respecting the previous candle's low, so we're backing off a little bit there. So potentially could turn around and come back and test these highs. You still got to be careful here because we're overall very bullish on the weekly time frames, higher time frames. So looking for sells is definitely risky, but we are rejecting this area. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times really we've rejected that area. So we got to be careful with taking sells and buys, honestly, because we're rejecting both areas here, and we are in this kind of consolidation area now. So as a lot of you know, I really don't like to take trades inside of consolidation areas. I like to wait for the breaks of those to take trades. So I'd probably wait for Euro USD to take anything because of where we are, but looking at this 1 hour, you can tell that you've had a shift of structure, maybe on like even lower time frames. Yeah, it's still pretty ugly because you're still haven't really shifted structure until you break these down here. So could turn around somewhere right here and continue to the upside. Who knows? I'm staying away from EU. I think that's all. Oh, gold. I don't think we looked at gold yet. And we have put in another bullish candle on gold. We put in the low. Now it looks like today we're probably going to keep pushing up. And there's really no reason to stop until we get up into 1975 area. So probably going to go test 1975. Yesterday's candle broke above and closed right above this high. So today's candle, we're making that low to the downside. We're putting in the low, and then we'll probably see it flip at some point and continue pushing bullish there. Consolidation area here on the hourly time frame, so could see a little bit more retracement on the daily candle. This low's broken, might come down and push within there. We've got a fib right here, so yeah, probably might come down and retest somewhere within there before making that move up. So this move up, it might not happen until next week. So looking at US30, I think, yeah, we're breaking out of that range right now. So got 1 minute until the open right here, so not going to be taking this. Potentially could have taken a breakout here to the upside. Your stop would have been 32 points. But you really didn't have much range right there, so I'm not sure that would have been a very safe trade. It might play out, but with it being this close to open in an hour or in 1 minute, I'm not going to take that. Let's hurry and look at all these real fast. Oops. So NASDAQ has not broken the high. Potentially could take this on NASDAQ. Where is the high? The high's up there. I might mark this high right there and potentially take buys above that level to the upside. As far as sells though, I don't really see much until you get underneath here, which is pretty far away. So here's our opening candle, pushing down hard right here. So not gonna look for any sells right here yet. There's nothing screaming at us. We have that low right there, but once that low's broken, there's just this ugly kind of range right here that you come into after that low. So nothing there for confirmations to take sells. We're gonna have to wait a little bit and watch this a little bit longer. There wasn't any news today, right? Oh, that is bright. Well, there's red news in 30 minutes, but it doesn't look like it's anything significant. So, so we made that push down. We retested this range that we were in. We retested the low. Looks like we're breaking the low now. I'll be interested to see if we flip bullish within the next 5 minutes here. Looking at the current 30-minute candle, we broke the low of the previous 30-minute candle and we're pushing down. But again, looking at the higher time frames, you can see there's really nothing in here. We are just within this consolidation area on the higher time frame. So got to be careful here watching all the time frames, because it can really help you stay out of risky trades. Like you probably could have taken a sell here, but again, you're coming into this range, so your stop would have been probably pretty big in comparison to really the range that you're in. So that's too much of a high risk trade for me. I like to take the sure trade whenever I can find it, and play the safe route. US30 is still pushing way down. We broke this high, faked out there. That was a good no trade there for sure. And now we're pushing to the downside. It's 7:32, so we got 2.5 minutes on this open. Let's go take a look at the DXY real fast. The 5 minute, we made that push down before the open. Now we're breaking up and potentially might break these highs up there. So once that high's broken, I'm probably going to put in another leg to the upside. So that will tell us that we need to be bearish here. Looks like NASDAQ and SPX are more rejecting this. Maybe not. They just like to back off for a second. And US30 is at that low, but I can't take a trade here until we put in a little bit of rejection. So we need the next candle to put in like a bullish candle to the upside. What up, Miss Entertainment Global? Thanks for the sub, dude. So yeah, we're rejecting that low down there. I'll be interested to see if we close this strong rejection wick in here, or if we come down and we push down and close below this level. That'll really kind of tell us where we need to go for the rest of the day. SPX or NASDAQ is backing off a little bit. SPX is doing the same. DXY still haven't broken that high yet, kind of rejecting a little bit. So let's drop down to the 1 minute and you'll be able to see a little bit better structure that we're putting in here. So kind of putting in these lower lows and higher lows and lower highs right here. We put in this low. That was a nice fib of this impulse right there. So now we put in that low. The only thing that needs to happen to continue seeing bullish pressure is we need to break structure here and we need to respect this low that was put in. As long as that happens, then you're in a bullish trend on the super small time frames. US30, looking at the 1 minute, we got that rejection there. 2 minute. What just happened? On the 1 minute US30, we rejected this area and we kind of closed bullish. Now we closed back below this range as a bearish candle, so we're probably gonna break down again as long as we keep closing below that range. But the 2 minute candle's kind of backing off there. We got the previous candle, 5 minute candle closed, so now that closed very bullish and right below that range. So in order for us to take a sell here, we need this candle to kind of push up and close bullish. We need this to close as a nice rejection bullish wick, as well as respecting the lows right there, so that the next candle that breaks below these lows is a good indication that we're going to continue heading to the downside. So looks like we're pushing up pretty strong. DXY, good close right there. Good close there on the 5 minute candle on the DXY. Gold is dropping out of that range. So yeah, probably gonna come retrace somewhere down into 1910, anywhere from 1920 to 1910-ish area, potentially 1907. So keep an eye on gold there. Let's flip back between here, NASDAQ, SPX. Yeah, so looking here, this candle has 3 minutes left to close. Go to the 1 minute. Okay, now we're putting in a little bit of a range on the 1 minute right here. I may play a high risk play right here on the 1 minute and put a buy stop right above this range potentially. How big is this? If you were to go here, 90 points, 28 points there. We'll see as we get closer to that. I'm not sure. That's a pretty high risk play right there, especially with the 5 minute candles looking like this. So probably not a smart move to play that, especially on a Friday after we've had a good week. But looking at these 1 minute candles, they're respecting structure right now. So on like the probably 15-minute chart, you're putting in this kind of structure here, and each of these lows right there are just these candle lows that are being put in. So okay, coming to break down again. 5 minute candle has 1.5 minutes until it closes. Looking at the 2 minute candle, I think we could potentially take a sell at the break of this low. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try this. This is a pretty high risk setup, but I'm gonna take this kind of sell right here, and this is only half risk. So, and we're immediately sucking back up. This might be a quick L. I took sells at the previous 5 minute close. Nice. Yeah, I'm getting out of that real quick. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for the next 5 minute. We're gonna mark that low there. This 5 minute candle's closing in 30 seconds. What's up, man? What's up, Shardo? Welcome, bro. I'm looking at the 1 minute. If we break out of this range, we're probably going to retrace a little bit up to the upside. We have this nice break structure here. Looking on the lower time frames, so we could see retracement anywhere within this area up inside there. Okay, I think we just had that 5 minute candle close, bullish. So now what we need to see is the down wick being made here, and now made that down wick. Now if we break these highs, we can expect a push to the upside. Lost $500 in 2 days. Jeez, man, that's not good. What were you trading to lose that? Or do you know why you lost those trades? Let's go look at these two real fast. These two are pushing up, and US30 is not pushing up yet. So if we start to see this candle flip the other side, there's a lot of confirmation there that we'll probably see retracement up inside there. So let's look at the DXY. DXY 5 minute, we are now ranging, so heading up and down. We did break structure here on the 1 minute. We were making a little bit of bearish structure here, but overall, looking here, putting in lower lows and lower highs there. So now we broke structure to the upside right here. A little mini. The real break structure would be right there, but we are breaking it on the lower, really small time frames there. So putting in that low, we might be rejecting here for a continuation up potentially. So we might be breaking out of this range. So if we do break out, if we do break out of here, then we probably are going to come up and test somewhere up within that area up there. So this candle is putting in the low. If we start to see it flip and push up, then that's a good sign of bullish pressure there. NASDAQ is already pushed up and corrected that whole opening move. So SPX is on its way. So I imagine US30 is probably going to follow it soon, potentially. Look at the 1 minute. I'm probably around 8 o'clock is when I'm expecting this to hopefully either retrace this whole move or flip back to the bullish side. If not, if we keep rejecting this range up in here, then we're probably going to break down below here at the open, or at the 8 o'clock. It's usually when you start to see a little bit of a change in momentum. So now, looking at the 1 minute candles that we're putting in here, we're breaking out of there. So now we should see a pretty good push to the upside. And I really don't think it's gonna slow down until somewhere up within there. We'll see. Okay, we got 3 seconds till this candle closes. Okay, it's closed pretty bullish. So looking at all these, NASDAQ and SPX are both breaking up. So US30 should be following soon. They don't always follow exactly the same, but I'm expecting this to continue upwards for a little bit. The XY is breaking down. US30 putting in this low now, so what we need to happen is we need to break this high and respect this low that was put in to see another bullish candle push to the upside. Okay, 8 minutes until this candle closes. See if closes a doji candle there, so really no indication here. Now we're putting in a low. We need to respect this low here. Looks like we're breaking the highs now, so as long as we break this high and respect this low, probably going to keep seeing more candles move to the upside. So there goes our high. Right there. And there we go. So the first 5 minute play was not very good, but you can see the structure we're putting in on the 5 minute candles now. We're making these lows and we're respecting each of them. This 5 minute candle just opened, but we made that low. Now we're pushing up. So as long as that low is respected, we're going to continue pushing up, especially with NASDAQ breaking that high. SPX making its way to the upside, probably might start rejecting somewhere up in here in that area, or it could even reject right there and start turning around. Looking at the DXY, it's kind of in a spot where it needs to turn around. If not, it's going to start flipping bearish. So we need to be careful with this, because it could reject right here and flip bullish, which we were kind of expecting it to potentially do. But if we start breaking below here, then that's going to flip bearish. So looking at US30, we're kind of rejecting now, pushing down a little bit. NASDAQ made a nice push down, and SPX is pushing down. So jump back to gold. Gold broke structure here to the downside. We're breaking all these lows right there. So now we're kind of making that retracement back up. See right here where we're at, so you could see it reject somewhere within here and make another leg to the downside. We need to respect these highs. If not, then you've kind of got a little structure change. That's on the 1 minute, so that's pretty small. I wouldn't put too much weight on that on the 1 minute, because looking here, we just broke structure on the 5 minute to the downside. Now we're kind of making these lower lows and lower highs, probably going to push down and retest somewhere into 1907-ish is my guess. 1916 to 1907 is where we're going to probably push down into if we do flip to the bear side today. So let's go back to the US30 on the 5 minute real fast. Not really seeing any opportunities yet. We do have this low right there that we've kind of pushed away from. We're going to mark this current high on the 5 minute right there. If we go down to the 1 minute, I'm sure we're kind of making some kind of flag, or yeah, like a channel. So we're just kind of creating this little upward move. So we might keep doing that up into somewhere up within here and then make push down. But we just got to ultimately respect that high up there. Okay, looks like we're starting to push up potentially a little bit. Break it this high, we'll probably get our next wave up. The XY looks like we might be potentially breaking down, so let's kind of clean this up a little bit. It's hard to see. We're just going to clear it all. We don't really need this anymore. So mark this low right there. That kind of is our break of structure there. You can see the range that we are consolidating within here. So now we break that low, we're probably going to create a leg to the downside. Then with the next level of structure on the 1 minute is right here. 5 minute, still pretty bullish though overall on the 5 minute, so could just see a retracement down into 102-300-ish level. Let's look at the volume. We never looked at the volume today. At the open, where's the open candle? Open pretty high. Highest was at 737. It's kind of on this small candle. That's kind of cool. Kind of makes me think that this move down was not the real move, and the move to the upside is going to be coming soon. Potentially, who knows? Might be breaking down. 5 minute candles rejected up there and just barely closed very bullish, so that's a good sign to the downside. Closed bearish right there, sorry, not bullish. So new 5 minute candles, putting in a low before we put in a high. Not a good sign if you want it to push down, because what we need is a push up before we start breaking the lows. So hopefully we get that retracement there. So now we're starting to flip to a bullish 5 minute candle here. We put in that low, so now what needs to happen is this high needs to be respected. We can put in that low. If this current candle starts to flip and break that low after we put in this high, that's a good sign that we're going to put in another bearish move to the downside there. Let's see something real fast. Look at the 1 minute candles. So yeah, we're just kind of creating this little wave move to the upside somewhere in this range. See if we come back up when we retest this high. Starting to push up a little bit. NASDAQ. Oh, wow. NASDAQ broke out of there. SPX is pushing up too. So looking at this 5 minute, with both of those doing that, we're going to mark this high. And this is going to be another half risk play because it's Friday. So actually, I'm not sure if I'm going to take it, but we can mark it up for sure. NASDAQ is breaking up, probably coming to test this high up there. DXY is dropping. So probably going to see US30 follow potentially at 8 o'clock in 7 minutes is when the volume's going to pick up. So got to be careful navigating this, but a break above here with the other two pushing pretty bullish could potentially give us a good move, at least to the highs up there, but probably break structure and continue bullish. So look at the daily candle again real fast. Put in our low, and we're in this area. I talked about this area this morning. This is a rejection area where we could possibly see it start to turn around. Looking at the 1 minute, rejecting, 30 minute, rejecting, 15 minute, we rejected hard, we're putting in a low. So if this 15 minute candle starts to flip, which that high is the high of that 15 minute candle, we need to keep an eye on this 15 minute candle. If that starts to flip, then we're going to head back up to the upside. 5 minute candles are still closing bearish. So just keep watching this for a little bit longer there. Let's see. It's like we're pushing down a little bit here. Okay, we got another 5 minute candle close bearish, but it's not very strong. So DXY still pushing down. I think US30 is going to turn around here soon, potentially. What's that high at? The high's at 33.032. Um, 5 minute candle, so we're rejecting here. Now looks like we're starting to push up. We got 5 minutes till 8 o'clock where we usually start to see another wave of volume come in. Looking at these candles, we're still seeing increases in volume and we're not pushing down with it. So that kind of makes me think that we're probably going to start pushing to the upside potentially, especially as we get closer to 8 o'clock. If this high's broken, probably pushing up to retest these highs up in there. So this 5 minute candle is really pivotal on kind of the direction, I believe. It is also a Friday, so we need to remember that it's possible that we just consolidate the rest of the day, but I think it's still early enough that we're probably going to have at least one more move, and kind of want to see what happens with this weekly candle, because we made this very strong push up, but its potential to kind of suck back up in here and kind of reject a little bit, looking at all these wicks up in here. So that definitely can see a bullish push coming up potentially. This area is what we're concerned on right now. So once we break above there, probably going to see a continuation to the upside. Coming up, let's hop back to DXY. DXY is dying. Breaking structure there. Let's watch the 1 minute chart right here for a sec. Candles putting in lows now. And this rejection area is where we might see trouble. Once we get beyond this, you know, we should see clean moves to the upside. Okay, we rejected there a little bit. We've got 2 minutes until 8 o'clock open. So if we push up here and we close up within here and the 8 o'clock comes in, it's probably going to make a small move down and push up, depending on how this candle closes right now. So we need to keep an eye on this. Got a minute 42 left. So once we come here, we've got 50 points to the top up there, and looking at this 1 hour candle, it is very ugly. So that this 1 hour candle closes in 1 minute. Consolidating, waiting for one more breakout. I'm hoping that it's that move to the upside that we get. Okay, 1 minute until 8 o'clock, and 1 minute till this 1 hour candle closes. A very ugly 1 hour candle. Ooh, we might reject this pretty hard. If we do, that's good indication for the downside potentially, but 17 seconds. NASDAQ made that push up. SPX made that push up as well. SPX didn't break structure like NASDAQ did. And the DXY is still going down. It's rejecting a little bit there. Okay, there's the close on the 5 minute. 8 o'clock candle. We'll see if this has any more volume to push us to the upside. So we need to watch the lows that we put in. We're going to kind of just follow this low and see what happens. Coming down, we need to respect this low down there. So we put in that low down there now. Now, kind of backed off a little bit. We'll see if we flip bullish. If we flip bullish and start breaking these, that's a good sign. Still respecting this low. So this is kind of how you follow structure here. So we're watching these lows. This low was respected. This low was respected. Now we're putting in this third candle. So we just need to watch this. This will kind of tell us, you know, it's not always 100% accurate, but watching how these candles form will show you what direction it wants to go. So a lot of times when you first get a candle open, it usually pushes down and retraces, and then the second half of the candle is what makes the actual move to whatever side it wants to go. Not always, that doesn't always happen, but sometimes or most of the time it plays out like that. So you can just kind of get on these low time frames and watch these candles. So 1 minute candle making a little bit of a push up. 5 minute candle, maybe start flipping bullish. It's starting to back up a little bit there. XY, seeing a little bit of a retracement. Okay, kind of chilling. So this is about the halfway mark within this candle. So first half of the candle, we kind of pushed down and we made this low. So we'll see what happens with the next half. We're starting to kind of come back up towards the high. So we might see the rest of this candle start to push to the upside potentially. Just got to keep an eye on this. Flipping bullish a little bit. SPX is doing the same. NASDAQ, strong rejection there. So keep an eye here. We got 2 minutes left in this candle. Now we're starting to push up. So this area has been rejected, what, 4 times here. So once we push up above, even if we can get a nice 5-minute candle to close, none of these candles have been able to close above 33.07. So if we can get a candle to even just close somewhere up within this range, and then the next candle come make a low and then break that high, good potential for upside there. So it looks like we're starting to push up, but we've rejected here a couple times. So gotta be patient here watching this. NASDAQ flip bullish. SPX has flip bullish as well. US30. Gold. Gold, kind of nice rejection wick there, pushing down potentially. The XY is still pushing down though, so risky. Okay, 45 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. We need this to really push up in here and close. If not, we might just see a range for the rest of the day potentially. We'll give it a couple more candles though for sure. Because I still think that there's potential for this to break to the upside. But the way we're rejecting, it looks like it either is going to sit within this range for the rest of the day, or I don't know, we might try to break the lows, but again, we're rejecting this area already here on the daily, so the weekly candle probably is going to suck up a little bit more, is my guess. Okay, so we're still respecting lows on these candles. Just one thing that we need to pay attention to. So these candles are just putting in lower lows, or lower highs here at this point, so as long as this candle keeps respecting here, traces somewhere in there, might see a push up. This is the strongest push we've had off the start in a second. So the XY's hot back there. Looks like we're still pushing down. We're coming down to this zone where we could see rejection, 102.3-ish area. So gotta be careful there. NASDAQ's breaking the high up. SPX is breaking the high up. Looks like US30 is starting to push up. So I think once this high is broken, we should see some bullishness there. And NASDAQ would have had the plays today. SPX is breaking up. It's in a rejection area though, so like I said with this last candle, even a close up within this range would be awesome. If you can get a close up in here where none of these other candles have been able to close, then the next candle can be what we need to push to the upside. This candle might just do it on its own though, looking like it's pushing up pretty strong. We're breaking up, and we'll see how far we go. go. Pushing up. Probably potentially could have taken this on the 2-minute candle here, break of the high, stops below 24 points. The upside you got about 50 points there, so this should continue up. Looking at the DXY that's tanking, and SPX and NASDAQ pushing up as well. So if you were able to get inside of these buys, congrats, that was a nice trade there. And we're still pushing up. Still pushing up there. Yeah, so this would have been like a lower time frame play that you could have had. 2-minute chart. Could have taken a buy stop on the above this level, and stop would have been below the 2-minute candle, so you would have had like a 24-point move or a 24-point stop loss, and you know, we're pushing up to the upside, so that would have been a good potential play there. This 5-minute candle stop would have been pretty large, but it looks like you're on your way to being there, so towards the 1-to-1. And the other two still breaking structure to the upside. SPX, nice big candle there, breaking up, so probably we are within that rejection area in there, so you got to be careful with SPX. DXY tanking as well, and breaking structure to the downside. So these indices should continue up for the rest of the day, because we're breaking there and probably going to come down and retest somewhere within this range down in there. So if you were able to catch that bullish move on US30, then good job. I'd be done for the day after winning that trade, because Friday, take what you can get from the market and be done. Don't give back anything that you already made. GU and actually, let's go look at RDK was looking at USD CHF here. So we I can't exactly remember what we were talking about. We were talking about how, oh yeah, we're within this range here, pretty ugly range, and we are at these highs where we could reject, and looks like we are starting to reject there. We're still putting in bullish structure though, so what we need here in order to actually see real rejection is we need a break here, a break here, and a break here to kind of really solidify a broken structure. So we need to push down there, kind of really breaking all this bullish uptrend right here on the lower time frame. Once we break out of there, we can come up and retrace somewhere back within this level, and then create another leg to the downside there. So what up, dude? What up, NECA? Taking any trades today? I took one sell. It was a freaking high risk sell, only risked half, so we lost that. And then we called this buy right here. I didn't end up taking it, but we kind of called this breakout to the upside there. So I only took one trade today, so no, nothing good today. Good day to miss. But first loss of the week, and it comes on a Friday, so what do you expect? Fridays suck. Honestly, don't really trade much on Fridays anymore, so take a lot of my losses on Fridays. It's just unnecessary losses. So NASDAQ still pushing up. SPX kind of rejecting there a little. We'll see what this next 5-minute candle does. DXY still dying though. Good sign for the indices to continue pushing up. Starting to reject a little bit here. is what it is. Yep. Some things you just can't control. I mean, still had what, 3 or 4 wins this week, 1 loss. So take what it gives you. You can't win every trade, so losing is just part of the game. As long as we respect these highs, though, here we could see a retracement back into these areas. So gotta be careful with taking any more buys here. I'm definitely done for the day taking buys, but we could see it start to reject here. Let's go drop down a little bit. Looking at the 1 minute, you can see the rejection a little bit better. So gold kind of making that shift to the upside a little bit. The XY, good strong move down, breaking all that structure that we talked about. Actually, there's still a couple more levels, but this is a good clean break right there on the 1 minute, because you can kind of see structure here that was put in, and now we broke right here. So potentially see a move to the upside up in there before another move down. Who knows what's going to happen for the rest of the day, because it's Friday again, so market's closing. One thing I want to look at is this weekly candle now. This is what we talked about a lot, is we're in this weekly area of where we've had a lot of rejections in the past, and I would not be surprised if this candle sucks back up before the close, and it creates this nice rejection wick here, so that next week on the open we might see a fill of this candle, or at least partially fill, put that low in for probably Monday, Tuesday. Kind of how we talked about on the 5 minute candle. The first half of the candle usually makes the retracement, and then the second half of the candle makes the actual move. So I think next Monday we might see, depending on how this candle closes, if this candle sucks back up and creates this wick that looks like that on Monday's open, we might see a move down even through Tuesday, kind of filling that wick, and then the rest of the week we could see it potentially flip and push back to the upside. That's just kind of going off of how bullish we've been over the last, couple months. But who knows? This weekly candle could close incredibly bearish, and next week we just break the next low and continue heading to the downside. So, but looking at the daily, we're still respecting this kind of move up. We broke structure here. So we could just be putting in this low leg to reject somewhere within this range and start the next leg to the upside, which, looking at our weekly candles, that's kind of what it's showing us. Let's take a look at the monthly candles real fast. This is not something we really look at very much because it's such a high time frame. The next break is right there. So if we break that low, that's the previous month's candles. Once we break that low, we're probably going to see a drop down into 30,000, somewhere up in there. So let's look at the weekly. That's kind of where we're coming up within, and next week we could potentially see that level break. It really depends on how this weekly candle closes, to be honest. So it's got 6 hours left on it. I'll update my Telegram channel with how this closes at the end of the day. So if you guys aren't in my Telegram, I'm gonna... Actually, no, I'm not. Okay. Cool. Starting to push down a little bit more. So this is kind of an interesting spot here, because we had this impulse down, and then we had consolidation here. This impulse down broke structure to the bearish side. Then we put in this consolidation, and this impulse broke a little bit of structure there. Didn't actually break the high, but we made this leg. So now there's two things that's going to happen. We're either going to reject right inside of here and make a next move to the upside, or we start breaking structure down and then we put in a low, put in a new low. Risked way too little on that US30 fib play. Magic keys is for, bro. Would you risk on it like 0.25? SPX and NASDAQ definitely broke the highs. So I'm kind of still thinking that US30 is going to follow and break it eventually as well. Looking at the 1 minute. So the move we were kind of talking about really started from down here and starting to push down a little bit. I just doubled my position, and so the risk was way lower than what I wanted. Nice. That sucks, but at least you won something. At least you won trade. I lost, so Sugma. XY looking to rebound a little bit here. We didn't look at any of these stocks today, but they pretty much dropped off a cliff. Bitcoin. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for me for this week. So I will update you guys at the end of the day on my Telegram channel, and I'll see you guys on Monday. So peace out everybody, have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.